Hi everybody, so I just wanted to make a little video of one of the, some of the questions that I get. So this is going to be kind of like a Q&A type of thing. And of course, starring Turbo. So here we go. So one of the biggest questions that I get is, do dwarf caiman make great pets? And I try to tell every single person that messages me asking this, and I say absolutely not. These guys do not make great pets for 99.9% of people out there. People think this is what they see. If they get one, oh, it's calm, it's quiet, it's totally tame, and that theirs will be like this. That is absolutely not the case. 90% of these guys, most of them, are actually very feisty. It's kind of like a chihuahua, a big attitude and a little body with most dwarf animals. So it's a lot of attitude, a lot of energy, and they can be very dangerous. Very dangerous. They can grow still pretty big, dwarf, Cuvier's dwarf caiman. You're looking at a size of female is about 4 feet. Turbo's dad is actually about 5.5 feet, and he was pretty heavy. So I would say anywhere from 45 to 50 pounds. So that's a pretty serious animal if you can't handle it, if you're afraid of it, and it can cause a lot of damage. So getting bit by, a 5-foot caiman, that weighs about 50 pounds, you're potentially looking at, could take some fingers off, could take an arm off, cut you up pretty bad. And a lot of people think, oh, mine's going to be great. It's going to be just like this. It's not the case. I spend thousands of hours with my animals, and that is how I'm able to get them to calm down. But I will say, I don't think a caiman will ever be 100% tame. It's just not a dog at the end of the day. So yeah, so please do your research and make sure that you are ready for this long, 40-year plus commitment, that you have the space and that you can feed these guys. Because, as they get bigger, they do eat more. They need to be, in a warm place. You got to have husbandry right. And if you want it to handle it, you can't be afraid of them, and you will get bit. So you can't think, I'll never get bit, because it will happen. I've gotten bit plenty of times, and I will get bit, and it's just the nature of the beast. He's actually being very calm right now, but usually they don't just sit there like this. They don't. They'll run away, even bite, mouth open, alert. They are usually not like my animals. So yeah, that's one of the questions. So please do your research before adding one of these guys into your lives. And, I get tons of messages, people saying, oh, I had my caiman for a year, I'm having a baby. I can't have it anymore. Or, I'm scared it's gonna bite my daughter. Or, I'm moving and I just don't have time, or I don't have the space. This is a big commitment. So you definitely got to think of that, because then these animals just get passed around, and that's not fair to them either. So please do your research. You can always email me, DM me, comment, and I try my best to respond to all of them. So there's that. Right, Turbs? Oh, you're a good boy. I know. And yeah, sometimes he can be feisty. He was pretty feisty last night. And different things can make them feisty. So you got to be aware of that. Be ready for that challenge, because they do not make good pets. If you want a pet, definitely get, an iguana is a better alternative. They still get pretty big, but a little bit easier to work with and house inside. And what else? A little bit about me. Let's see, I've been working professionally with animals for almost 12 years now. So I've worked with anything from, you know, training horses. I've done many, many years of dogs, cats. You know, now I do zoo animals and stuff like that. So I'm kind of well-rounded in all of those aspects. But, you know, even being very experienced, you still are going to get bit. And, you know, I've gotten bit by some pretty crazy animals. So my fear is not the same as a normal person's because, you know, I work with this stuff for a living and every day. So I am not as reactive or as scared or fearful to interact with animals. So another question that I get often is, what is Turbo? So Turbo, my little model right here, he is a Cuvier's dwarf caiman, and he just turned a year old. His birthday is on October 2nd. And he came from New England Reptile. So he was captive born, captive bred, and it's really cool because I've gotten to, over the years, meet, you know, his dad, his mom, tons of his brothers and sisters, and, you know, I've held the dad, and that's kind of where I fell in love with these guys. So it was pretty cool to be able to get one from them, seeing as I have this relationship with you know, I just love their animals, their caiman, because they are a little bit calmer. So it's pretty cool to get one. And that's Mr. Turbo. So he has been so good since he came home. Really like a totally different world than, you know, when I had Tango. So Tango is a smooth front caiman, which is the second of the smallest of the caiman species, while Turbo, the Cuvier's, is the first. So Turbo will be a little bit smaller, full grown. But two totally different species, two totally different ways of acting. I think their personalities are totally different. And I think, you know, their reactiveness is probably the biggest thing that I am just kind of like, wow. It's like night and day. So Tango, as you know, definitely totally different animal, but he was so reactive. That species, the smooth front or Schneider's dwarf caiman, is so much more reactive than these guys. Tango hated the outside. Turbo, I can bring him outside and he'll stay right by me. You know, as even I haven't had him for that long, but he's already kind of calmed down, learned my ways and what I need him to do, and let me do it. So for me, being able to do this took, you know, not long with him. I would say a few months. Meanwhile, with Tango, I would say it took me at least a year and a half to do that, from what I can remember. You know, I gotta pull up those videos and kind of do a comparison.